What's going on, everyone? It's your man, Point Guard, Stephen Bartle, coming back to you for another live edition of Next Chapter Forward. Hope you guys are doing well this afternoon. I know I am. Get my mic set here. We're going to talk about a few things today, guys. But first, if you're new here, I'm Point Guard Stephen Bardo. I had a dream job as a color analyst, a basketball analyst for three major networks: NBC Sports, Fox Sports, and Big Ten Network. I've been doing that. I was doing that for 25 years. And then I had a situation with a racist flight attendant last year about this time. And I threatened to sue the airline. They gave me a settlement. I made a decision and I bounced. And so now I live in Mexico and I help brothers over 50 make a similar decision. If they're fed up with the United States, if you're fed up with the racism, if you're fed up with the microaggressions and the Third Reich being implemented in the United States, then this content is for you. Hope you guys doing well. It's going to be a good conversation today because I've gotten some really good feedback from people about what they want to understand and what they want to learn. Okay, so let me see here. Let me get this straight. All right, let's start off with this. There's been a lot of conversation around, should you bring your own personal car when relocating? Okay. First off, a lot of these guys are going to be mindset shifts, right? Because what happens is a lot of people, especially those that have not traveled outside the United States very much, they think, and it makes sense. You think to yourself that when you relocate, you're going to make your life like it was in the United States, but you're going to put that in your new location. And what I want you guys, before we get into these points, I want you to think about your mindset. When you're moving to another country, when you're relocating to another country, it's probably not a good idea to bring all of your U.S. idiosyncrasies with you, because it won't serve you well in different countries. People don't care that you're American. People don't care that you speak English, that you may not speak Spanish. People don't care that the power went out and it's been out for 2 or 3 hours and you come down screaming down at the front desk like an ugly American. Or one day when they were working on the water in this building, and I don't know if the guy's from America or from Canada, but he was speaking English and he was upset. And he was talking about, like, you know, you guys said the water was only going to be off for a couple hours. It's been 3 hours now. And I've got like this, I was preparing chicken and I still got this stuff on my hands. And I'm thinking, like, bro, you don't have any bottled water you can wash your hands with? Like, it's not that serious. And what I want you guys to consider is when you leave the United States, things aren't really as serious as you think they are, or as serious as they're made to be out in the United States. It just doesn't work like that in different countries. And I want you to understand that. So should you bring your own personal car when relocating? Now, you'll hear some noise. I apologize because I've got my windows open. But here's my personal thought on it, fellas. I don't think you need to bring your car. Again, this is an American mindset, thinking that you're going to need a car in a place that you relocate to. Now, I'm going to give you examples from my experience, from my living experience in Playa del Carmen, even in Cancun, in Tulum, even Mexico City, Guadalajara. You don't need a car, guys, because the transportation is so inexpensive. Pardon me. You can go from one end of Playa. Now, Playa del Carmen is about a place of about 500,000 people, so it's not that big. Okay, but it's a mid-sized city. You can get from one end of Playa del Carmen to the other for about 90 to 100 pesos. That's about $5. So if you are relocating, typically you're not relocating for a job in that location. You either have your own money situation set up, you're remote working, you're a digital nomad, you're a retiree, or you're a person that has investments, you're living off dividends. in these scenarios, guys, I want you to seriously consider Mexico, you don't need a car. Colombia, you don't need a car. Panama, you don't want a car because they drive crazy. Dominican Republic, you don't want a car because it's bananas how they drive, right? And I'm giving you different examples, guys, because Santo Domingo, I believe, is 5 to 6 million people. It's a big city. And they drive like they're in the big city. I would never drive in the Dominican Republic. Okay. So these different places, Brazil, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Mexico, Belize, you really don't need a car. Now, I've had a couple of guys in my group, Kareem and Frank. They drove their cars from the United States down here to Mexico. That in of itself to me is a risk, but it's been done so many times, and you can go on Facebook groups to figure out what's the best way to do it. There's people that will meet you at the U.S. border that will drive it down through Mexico for you, depending on where you're going, for a fee. You can do that. But again, guys, the thing for me, I'm trying to decrease my footprint. I'm not trying to keep the same footprint that I had in the United States because it's too big. It's just too big. I was by myself living in a 3-level townhome with a 2-car garage, living by myself in Chicago. It was a nice place, right? I didn't need all that space. I didn't need it. And I didn't really realize it until I started living down here what you think you need. America messes with our minds, guys. And that's why travel is probably the best education that you can receive. Okay? So I'm encouraging guys, think about not bringing your car. Now, Frank and Kareem has since moved to Merida, and Merida is a city of over 1 million people. And so it's probably a little bit more convenient, but I know a ton of Black people that have retired to Merida. I'm saying it the Spanish way, Merida, Merida. It's a nice city. It's the second safest city in North America behind Quebec City. It's a fantastic city in the Yucatan Peninsula, right? It's a little, they're west of us. So it's about 3 hours away. And it's a bigger city. But even then, I've been to Merida twice. You don't need a car, guys. So if you just have to have it, if you feel comfortable with it, and that's something that's going to make you feel good, okay, go ahead and do it. But I would advise you to think against that because it's more stuff that it's stuff, guys. It's material stuff that you really don't need because all it does is get in the way of experiencing life. Get rid of the stuff, experience life. You'll thank me later, okay? All right. Hey, hit in the comments if you got questions, if you got comments, let me know. I see a couple comments in there. I'll get to them in a second, but I want to get through these topics first so I can touch on them, and then we can go back and discuss them. Does that sound good? Okay. All right. Number 2. Hold on. Let me change this for a second. I've got the timer on. Okay. Safety. Now, guys, it took me aback a little bit. I was on a radio interview and they were asking me about my program and what it's like to live in Mexico. And so one of the gentlemen asked me, he said, I got a question, Mr. Bardo. What do you need to watch out for when you walk outside? And I was like, can you repeat that? Because I wasn't quite understanding the question. This guy was worried about animals that are present in Mexico. And when you come outside, do you need to worry about them? And so I don't know this gentleman, but obviously from his question, I don't think that he's traveled much. And so that's one of the tasks that I have is to be a light and to be an example for people who haven't traveled, who are over 50, who've maybe been isolated a little bit. And so the question threw me, but I will answer it for you. Mexico loves dogs. You think the United States loves dogs? They ain't got nothing here in Mexico. So the majority of animals that you'll see when you walk outside are stray dogs. And guys, let me tell you, the stray dogs chill in the street and people ride around them. Like, you know, in certain areas in the United States, if you got kids or you got angry adults, sometimes they'll attack dogs. And dogs have a much different demeanor in the United States because they are being, it's a different energy feel. It's not quite as laid back and relaxed as it is here in Mexico. But I mean, guys, there's lizards, jaguars, there's all kind of animals here because this Quintana Roo state, this Riviera Maya area, was all jungle 60 years ago. This is fairly new development. Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Tulum are fairly new developments when you're talking about as old as the history is of the country of Mexico. So I did a walking long form video that I'm going to post later this week, and I showed the lizards. These are like iguanas or lizards that do their head like this on top of walls because they're sunbathing, and they'll do this. So I tried to show it. That's really all you're going to see, guys. They're muskrats. There's any kind of animal that you can think of and more, but you really don't see them. So there's really no need to feel bad or feel unsafe because it's not a factor here. I don't know how they do it with the rodents. I have not seen a rat yet. I've not seen one rat or one mouse yet. And it's amazing. I'm looking for them and I haven't seen them. Okay. So there's absolutely nothing to be concerned about. I've been to Mexico City. I've been to Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Cabo, Tijuana. Merida. I've been to 7 different locations, and Tijuana, Cabo are in the Baja California side, and Mexico City's in the center of the country. Puerto Vallarta is on the Pacific Ocean side. Merida is on the Gulf of Mexico, not Gulf of America, Gulf of Mexico side. And then Cancun and Tulum are on the Caribbean Ocean side. So I got to share this with you guys. I'm starting to post on LinkedIn again. I had stopped, but I'm starting again. And this guy jumped in, this dude that is America with 3 Ks. He jumped in and said, "That's not the ocean. That's the Gulf of America. Go USA." And I thought, wow, you dumbass. You don't even understand your geography. We're not in the Gulf of Mexico. We're in the Caribbean Ocean because we're on the east side of the peninsula, dummy. Anyway, I digress. So the safety concerns, guys, they have done, the United States government administration has done a fantastic job of clouding our mind about cartels, about drugs, about violent crime in Mexico. Is there violent crime in Mexico? Of course. Of course. Is the crime as bad as the United States? Absolutely not. Not even freaking close. Not even close. And I'm even saying this after the mayor of Michoacan. It's a state. It's also a city. It's a very dangerous area right now. It's a lot of cartel activity. This mayor had been very vocal against the cartels, and the cartels waited for a very public ceremony and took him out. So, like the United States, guys, if you're not dealing in the drug game or gangsters or stuff like that, you don't even know it exists. It's the exact same in Mexico. You don't see cartels. You don't see the drug trade. You don't see any of that unless you're dealing with it, or unless you're in those states like Michoacan. Guerrero can be a little dicey around Acapulco. Sinaloa has historically been a haven for cartels. But if you're not in those areas, guys, you're fine. And listen, Mexico is a big, big country. It's a large, large country. There's a lot of different areas, a lot of different cultures, a lot of different food, a lot of different things to experience. And I encourage you all to really consider it. All right. Oh, man, we got a few questions. Just give me a second, guys. I'm going to get to this last topic, and then I'll get to your questions. Healthcare. I had no idea that healthcare was this good in Mexico, ladies and gentlemen. I was really surprised. And here's why. Because you can actually, if you get residency here, you can sign up for public health services. And I think it's a minimal cost. It might be $25 a month on the public plan, but there are, oh, did that wrong. There are private health insurance plans, guys, that range from about $120 to $160 a month. And these are world-class health facilities. Do you guys realize that there are Americans that cross the border every day to get health services in Mexico? Did you guys know that? In places like Juarez, Texas, El Paso, Juarez corridor, Arizona corridor, Baja California corridor, people come down, and the Mexican government is very smart because they understand the healthcare concerns and issues in the United States. They put these clinics right across the border, and these are world-class facilities. Some of these doctors even speak perfect English because they were either trained in the United States, some of them were trained in Cuba, and they would learn to be bilingual. And so Americans leave the United States and come to Mexico every day for health services. Okay. So consider if you had private health insurance at $120 to $160 a month, you can get house calls sometimes. If you're infirmed and you're just bedridden, you can't get out of bed, the doctors will come to your house. Remember how, if you guys, I market to black men over 50, so the black men over 50 may have recollection of this. There used to be a time, guys, in the United States where doctors would make house calls. They would come to your house. If you were infirmed and really, really sick, they do the same thing here in Mexico today in 2026. I'm not making this up, guys. Look, I want you to do your own research, okay? All right. So those are some of the things that I see have been big time questions, and I wanted to come on and kind of give you my perspective and give you something to think about so that you'll go back and do your own research. Or if you want me to help you do the research, I suggest you hit that link on the bottom, Free Throw 15. You can put Free Throw 15 in the comments. I'll send you the link. You can sign up for your relocation roadmap call. It's a free 15-minute phone call. I was booked this week. Had some great calls. I'm getting to know some fellas that have some very interesting situations, personal situations that I'm just loving helping them figure out. And a couple of the guys are actually taking trips down here to Playa del Carmen, so I'm going to show them around. We'll go out to eat, hook them up with a realtor if they want to go look at places. I'm your plug. So if you want to come to Playa del Carmen as a place for possible relocation, I'm your guy. Make sure you comment Free Throw 15 in the comments, or you take this link and go sign up. All right, let me get to your comments. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. Cool breeze. Cool breeze. True fact, I live in the Dominican Republic and the mass transit is decent and you can get it anywhere easily. Guys, all right. I want you to think of this, okay? Don't think of foreign countries' public transportation like you see sometimes in a city like Chicago, in the inner city. Because a lot of times in the inner city in the United States, some of those neighborhoods in those cities are really socioeconomically challenged. And so you're going to run into people who are desperate. Crime and poverty are very equally associated. Although there are a lot of people in the United States will have you believe that crime is associated with culture or race. And that's just not the case. Anytime you find poverty, you find crime. And so a lot of times in the United States, our public transportation systems are, that we have citizens who are, maybe living under the poverty line, maybe struggling, maybe homeless. And so it puts a sour taste in your mind. It's not like that overseas, guys. Even I've seen homeless people in different countries and they have more dignity because people still recognize them. They looked him in the face. They asked him, "Are you okay?" I saw this sister give this homeless Mexican man, he was laying on the street. I was walking behind her, like I was about 20 feet behind her. I was just kind of on my way. And she walks and she looks back and she sees this guy and she comes back. She gives him some money and she says, "Cuidate," which means take care of yourself. And he was very appreciative, right? But there's a certain dignity with people that don't have a lot of resources in other countries that you're not going to find. You're not going to find the same nastiness that we have developed in the United States for people who are less fortunate. And our view of people who are less fortunate, unfortunately, aligns to public transportation. So what this gentleman is saying, Cool Breeze, Puerto Plata, he's saying the mass transit is decent, guys. I was going to take the bus in Dominican Republic. My buddy didn't want me to because he doesn't know that I navigate around the world like that. I like doing what the local citizens do because that's how you learn, right? So thank you, Cool Breeze, for that input, man. I appreciate that. Oh, and nice follow-up. Shipping costs from U.S. to Caribbean is costly and can run the risk of having car parts taken off your car. Do you guys want that risk? We're so indoctrinated in the United States, especially if we live in large metropolitan areas, that we have to drive. We got to pay for parking. We got to pay for gas. We got to pay for insurance. We got to pay for maintenance. We got to pay for car washes. Don't you want to get rid of all that? Don't you want to see what life can be like without that financial albatross? Guys, the United States is masterful at a lot of things. And one of them is creating financial stress and burden on its citizens and brainwashing us into thinking that we have to have all this crap. Guys, you don't need a car overseas. Most countries, I don't think you need one, even in large cities. What are you going to do in Mexico City? The largest city in the world, maybe next to Shanghai, or I think it's definitely top 2 or 3 in the world. What are you going to do with your car in Mexico City? Do you know where you're going? Do you have a clue of how people drive in that area? Of course you don't. Here's what I suggest. Take the trip first. Take a trip for a couple weeks or a month without your car and see if you need it. Don't just think like, oh, I'm going to relocate and I'm going to bring my car. Sell the thing. If you're really trying to relocate and you don't see yourself coming back to the United States for a few years, I would tell you to sell your car. But that's just me, okay? Good to see you, Awaken Power, Awaken Your Power. Thanks for joining. Afternoon, Daryl. Good. Appreciate you tuning in, brother. Good to see you. What's up, Andrew Moody? That's my guy here. What's going on, Andrew? How you doing, bro? How's school going? Yeah, I miss you too, my man. I think you're still at Clemson. Hope things are going well for you. Let me know how you doing, man. Love to catch up. Oh, you're welcome, Charles. Look, I think the medical situation is similar in a lot of countries. For example, I don't know if you guys are on TikTok or you're on Instagram, but one of the countries that's very, very popular in terms of medical tourism, I'll give you 2 of them, Turkey and Malaysia. So I've seen videos, guys, where couples will book round trip flights, accommodations, the whole 9, get major medical procedures done in Turkey or Malaysia, hang out for 3 or 4 days, and then come back. And it's cheaper. The round trip tickets, the lodging, the food, the kicking it, the hanging out, all that, and the medical procedures are cheaper than the medical procedures in the United States. Go if you think I'm making this up, research it yourself. In particular, look up Thailand, Turkey, and Malaysia. Those 3 in particular. Type in those 3 countries and medical tourism. You will see what I'm talking about. Guys, a lot of countries around the world don't view their healthcare systems as a profit center. They still view their healthcare systems as helping their citizens. Because a lot of countries understand that if you don't have a healthy citizenry, your country is at risk. Okay? So I really want you to, it's hard, guys, especially if you haven't traveled outside the United States. It's hard for you to take that armor off. Because again, I hope somebody is studying the propaganda machine that the United States has created, because it's one of the best in the world. I think it's one of the best in history, because American citizens, and I don't want you to take this personally, guys, because I'm not saying this to you personally, but what I'm a world traveler. I've been in 27 countries around the world. I've worked in about 5 or 6 of them. Americans are the most ignorant people on the planet. I'm gonna say that again. I'm not saying stupid. I'm saying ignorant. Why do I say ignorant? Because ignorant is that you just don't know. It's not that you're stupid. You just don't know. And you're allowing the brainwashing, the propaganda to cloud your information coming in. Okay? So go to Al Jazeera as a news source. If you're on TikTok, go follow German news and Korean news sources, because they will show you a different America than you're actually living in. They're going to show you what news really looks like as compared to what the legacy media will push down your throat. All right? I'll give you guys an example. People really did a good job of holding on to their money around Christmas. So corporations, things like that, really lost a lot of money during Christmas that they were counting on, because people, one, don't have as much money, and two, people are a little bit more conscious about what's going on, right? So then we get the post-Christmas numbers and they're way down, and these corporations like, bro, we were counting on that money. What's going on? So then what follows that? This huge storm that has engulfed 2/3 of the United States and had everybody doing what? Spending a bunch of money. I'm gonna let that sink in for a second. All right. Great question, Charles. Do Americans who seek healthcare across the border generally pay out of pocket rather than using U.S. health insurance? Now, that's a very good question. I've seen posts in certain Facebook groups where there are people who have the ability to use their U.S. health insurance in different countries. I think they have to pay a premium for that. But let me ask you a question. If you plan on relocating and you're going to stay for, let's just say you're going to give yourself a 2 to 3 year period, why would you pay U.S. healthcare premiums when you could pay? Why would you pay $500 or more in healthcare premiums when you could pay less than $175 and get better treatment? Why would you do that? Now, I'm not saying Charles doing that. I'm just saying again, the thinking. You're thinking that U.S. healthcare insurance is better than where you're going. And what you have to do is you have to take that lens off and go see for yourself. You have to take a scouting trip for yourself. I do not advise people who are relocating to relocate to a place that they have not visited more than 2 weeks. Because if you go for a week, ladies and gentlemen, it's still going to be like vacation. You know, you might sleep in. You come, you know, if you're working and you get the first day or two, man, you're going to relax. You're going to chill. And then you're going to have fun. And then by the time you finish having fun and you want to do something, it's time to go back. I encourage people to stay at least 2 weeks to a month for a scouting trip, because then the newness will wear off. And now you got to see what day-to-day life looks like. You have more time to meet people. You'll have more time to get into activities. You'll have more time to see different condos or different places like that. Okay. All right. All right, Roderick. Where are you going, Roderick? Where are you taking off to? And I'll send you the link when we get off here. Charles asks, are there oceanfront properties in Playa del Carmen, and how much should I expect to pay? That part, Charles, you're going to pay a lot. And here's the thing. I believe there's a law in Mexico that if you're a foreigner, you can't own land a mile away from the waterfront. There's some kind of stipulation. Maybe they've changed it. I don't know. But there was some kind of stipulation that it was next to impossible. If you were trying to get oceanfront property, they weren't selling it to foreigners. You may have to go through a Mexican agent, lawyer, attorney, something along those lines. But I don't know, because I don't think that I'm the typical American that is relocating, guys. I'm lowering my footprint. I'm not trying to live bigger. I'm trying to live smaller, because what I've realized is that the less stuff you have, the more life you have. The less crap you got to keep up with, the more life you can live, the more people you can meet, the more salsa dances you can take, the more language exchanges you can have, the more volunteering you can do, the more restaurants you can go out to eat. Okay. So I know for some people who have a lot of money, they're trying to put money in and make it work and have a safe haven, almost a forced savings for their money. Hey, knock yourself out. That ain't me. I invest my money differently. I was into real estate, but I sold my real estate holdings because I was getting out of the States. I'm more of I'm a stocks, crypto. I invest in businesses. I'm more on that line. So I don't put my money into real estate. I would rather rent, because in renting, ladies and gentlemen, again, it's where America has you tripping. In renting, guys, you have cost certainty. When you own, you don't have cost certainty. And you're trying to, if you're thinking about owning in a foreign country, so you own a property in a foreign country, you're responsible for the upkeep of it. So now you got to go find a contractor. You got to find people you got to find people that can supply you with whatever that you're looking for in terms of appliances, furniture, all those things, right? Those are headaches I don't want to deal with. Again, I'm lowering my footprint because I want to live. I don't want to be worried about my mortgage. I don't want to be worried about car insurance, health insurance, premiums, credit card bills, trying to keep up that lifestyle in the United States. I'm not doing that. Okay. And I would encourage you all to, if you're not of that mindset, think about that mindset. Think about downsizing and what the freedom that comes with it. Think about this, guys. If you got overhead of $6,000 to $7,000 a month, or let's just say $5,000 a month, that's your mortgage, car, food, utilities, bills, credit cards. Maybe you're paying off student loan debt, whatever, $5,000, right? Do you know, I'll give you an example of this brother that I met when I first came down here last April. And we were at a 420 party. And so this brother from Chicago, and early 40s. And I was new. So I'm talking to everybody. I'm trying to get everybody's story. He had been down here for about 9 to 10 months. And in that 9 to 10 month period, guys, he saved $18,000 because he was trying to get out of debt. And so he could work remotely. So he had his same income, and he let go of his rental place in the United States. He said he sold his car because someone told him, come down to Mexico, get a modest place, bite the bullet for a year. And he said, I guarantee you won't regret it. At the 10-month mark, guys, now he was living in a very modest place. He was paying $600, $700 a month for like a 1-bedroom. and it wasn't close to the ocean. It was on the other side of the highway, which is more local and it's way more affordable. Nothing wrong with it. It's not dangerous or anything like that. It's just not close to the ocean. So he's paying $600-700 a month, still working his remote gig, but now he can get to the ocean. He can get better weather, and he got out of debt and saved $18,000. So he was at a negative. He came up to zero, and now he's plus $18,000 because he came down to Mexico and shrunk his footprint. So now he could go back to the United States with $20,000 in his pocket, debt-free, and reset his life in the United States. Or he can keep that money. He can get maybe a better place for $1,000, and you got a fat crib, right? Might move over on the east side of the highway that's closer to the ocean, where the real estate's a little bit more expensive, but not much, okay? That's what I want you guys to consider. What country you recommend for someone near retirement? Let me ask you this, Lion. Have you traveled outside the United States? Because if you haven't traveled outside the United States, you really shouldn't be looking anywhere except for Mexico. There's too many positives to Mexico. It's proximity to the United States. Mexico is like another state. Don't view it as another country. View it as another state. I've said this over and over again. I can fly from Chicago to Cancun, which is our major airport here. I'm 45 minutes south of Cancun. Cancun to Chicago is quicker than Chicago to Los Angeles. I'm going to say that again. Chicago to Cancun is an hour shorter flight from Chicago to Los Angeles. Chicago to Miami, to Chicago to Cancun is identical. So think of Mexico as another state. Mexico is used to gringos, Americans coming down to live. There are a lot of places like Playa del Carmen that speak a lot of English. That's why my Spanish isn't as good, because a lot of locals want to speak English here because tourism is a major industry in this region. So if I was in Guadalajara, Puebla, Querétaro, Mazatlan has a lot of foreigners as well. But if I was in areas that weren't as touristy, that didn't have as many foreigners, my Spanish would be way further along. But the thing is, in Mexico, they're very patient with you. They don't get upset if you don't know Spanish. And Spanish is very easy to learn, guys, contrary to popular belief. So, the language situation is easy. The cost of living, you'll save a lot of money coming to Mexico. It is not dangerous. Now, if you go to Sinaloa, you go to Michoacan, you go to the dangerous areas, yes, it's dangerous. But I don't see a lot of foreign, especially American citizens. I don't see a lot of American citizens in Michoacan or Sinaloa, okay? So the safety is great. The people are some of the best. I've been all over the world, guys, and there are great people everywhere. I'm putting Mexicans up with anybody. I'll rock with Mexican people 7 days a week and twice on Sundays. These people are loving, they're kind, and the thing that it will remind you of the 70s in the United States, how living here in Mexico is right now. Family oriented. The kids run and jump into their parents' arms after school. It's a love fest here. Yes, people are struggling. Some people don't have enough food. Some people don't make a whole lot of money. You wouldn't know it by the way they walk around. And Lion, I'm gonna tell you this: you will, if you're an average American, and I think the median income in America now is something like 45 to 60,000. I believe it's in that range. So if you're in the median range of an American and you come to Mexico, you will feel rich and you will feel hoodwinked for the prices that you pay in the United States. I'm trying to tell you. Zoom to Thailand says that he pays out of pocket for healthcare and it's much cheaper. Yeah, you can certainly do that. Charles, here's what a lot of people do. a lot of Americans and Canadians don't even have health insurance down here. They'll just pay for doctor visits because they're so cheap. They'll pay for, procedures that, like I had blood work. I had blood work and I had my knee examined in the same visit. And I ended up paying $60. Blood work and my knee examined for $60. So you can pay out of pocket if you want. That's fine. If you don't have any major health things that you're managing, you can certainly do that. Because guys, I want to share this information with you, but I don't want to sound like I'm a hype man and that, Bardo's off. He's on one today. No, guys. If you guys like, where's my man at? Andrew Moody knows me from my broadcasting days, from my, college basketball broadcasting days. And I would speak to millions on television every week. I can't lie because I'm speaking live on national television and people can go back and see what you're saying. So I've got a reputation of trust, of credibility. And what I'm trying to share with you guys is the truth. No cap here. But I want you to follow up with your own information because, guys, the mindset is the most important thing when you're considering relocation. If your mindset is correct, you will thrive in the country of your choice. I guarantee it. But if your mindset isn't right, you can be in paradise, and all you're going to do is bring all that stuff from the United States with you. All that anger, that anxiety, needing to feel rushed. Like, if I don't get there, right at the time, it's going to be, if you're like that down here, you will be so upset. Because you know what happens? We'll meet at 5. I'll get there at 5:07, 5:10. And guess what happens if the guys are there early? Hey, what's up, Bardo? They don't care. We are so on such a, what's the word I'm looking for? We have time so warped in the United States, and other places aren't perfect, guys, but man, they understand time a lot better. I want you guys to get your time back. I don't want you to be like, damn, it's Wednesday already? What was I doing on Monday and Tuesday? Ask me what I was doing on Monday and yesterday. I can tell you hour per hour because I'm living. I'm not thinking about the future. I'm not worried about the future. I'm not thinking about the past. I'm 10 toes down. I'm with y'all on this live. I'm not thinking about anything else but giving you the information that you need to make the best decision for you. If you don't relocate or you don't use me, that's fine. If you're in a position where you're curious and you want information to help you make a more informed decision, maybe years down the road, fine. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Take it all in. Okay. All right. Okay. So Roger's going to be down here. Oh, sweet. So you'll be in a few days. All right, let's talk. Hit me up. I'd love to see you. Bingo. Apostles Doctor in Arizona. Bingo. Now, if you don't think this is going on in the United States, you've been living under a rock because it's happening all over the world. U.S. isn't the only place that's modifying their weather. It's happening all over the world. Okay. So understand that when you guys, which I was proud of, I was glad that U.S. citizens did a really good job of not spending a lot of money on Christmas because you need to show these billionaires who the people of the country are. The billionaires aren't the people of the country. The U.S. citizens are. And we need to be against billionaires straight out. It ain't got shit to do with black and white. It ain't got shit to do with Hispanic or Latino or Jewish or black. It ain't got shit to do with that, guys. It's us against the billionaires. That's it. And I hope, and if you don't agree, that's fine. But that's what we're up against. It's us against the billionaires. Get away from all this other crap. We're being manipulated by billionaires, period. So if you're a MAGA and you're walking outside and you see a black person or a Jewish person or a Latino person, go up and shake their hand. You can have philosophical differences, but you're on the same team. These people are putting chemtrails in the sky. They're modifying the weather so that you can come out of your pockets. Okay? Wake up. The United States that they pushed on us and all that, it's not that anymore, guys. It's a free-for-all. The billionaires are grabbing what they can grab. Why do they build bunkers, guys? Why do these billionaires build million-dollar bunkers? Because they know what's coming. They know what's coming. Oh, good call, Roger. Good call, man. This is the time to get out of that ice, that winter cold. Boy, did I pick the right winter to stop working Big Ten games. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, creator. What's up, Winston? Do they have a lot of exercise wellness options where you? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Winston. I appreciate that. This area, the Riviera Maya area that encompasses Cancun, Playa del Carmen, and Tulum, is one of the more health conscious areas in the world. It's not quite a green zone like Okinawa in Japan and some of the other blue zones, rather, where the life expectancy is long. But the health and wellness here is elite. And so it's a very health conscious environment and populace here in this area, especially in this area of Mexico. I can't speak necessarily for the other areas of Mexico, but the Quintana Roo state, the Riviera Maya, the Yucatan Peninsula, for the most part on this eastern corridor, on this eastern side, health and wellness is at an elite level, a world-class elite level. So anything that you want to get into, it's available here. Charles, you're spot on, man, because the rentals don't lock you in. So I've got a lady friend here, Dee, and Dee's been here for 3 or 4 years. And so she had some friends that left their home in Canada. I believe they were from British Columbia, maybe the Vancouver area. And so these people have money. And so they came down and bought in an exclusive neighborhood. It wasn't beachfront, but it's got beachfront access. So I think it might be like a half a block away from a beach on the ocean, but it's on the north side of Playa del Carmen. Pardon me. And it's in a gated community. And so these people came down, they bought a house, they customized it. I mean, like really customized it. And now they don't like the neighborhood. They don't like the area because they find that they don't get outside of this closed-in neighborhood like the United States, thinking that, oh, we made it. We're going to seclude ourselves from people that don't have as much as we do. They came down here, did the same damn thing, found out they don't like the neighborhood. They really don't like Playa because they don't spend any time out in the community. They didn't connect with the culture. So now they're stuck with a customized home that they can't sell, and they want to move. So that's why Charles is being wise. When you're in a foreign country, guys, rent first. You can always buy later. But don't come, oh, I'm this rich Canadian. I'm this rich American. Don't do that. You're wasting your money. You're not putting yourself in the best position to enjoy your life. Don't think purchase. Think rent first, and then check it out. Yes, Cool Breeze. Check it out. So I'm not going to name the brother's name because I want to keep their anonymity. One of the guys I was on the call with yesterday, real cool guy, right? One of the things that stuck out to me, he said, look, man, I want to relocate somewhere, but I don't want to be stuck with a remote in my hand. I said, preach, brother. I know exactly what you're talking about. He does not want to be sitting on a couch with a remote in his hand. And what Cool Breeze is saying right here, you want to spend most of your time outdoors exploring, enjoying nature and the countryside and beaches. Guys, for example, I'm a former point guard of a legendary college basketball team, the Flying Illini. We were probably the best team to never win a national championship. Played 10 years of professional basketball, 25 years covering college basketball on national television. Basketball is my family business, right? Illinois is playing Purdue last weekend. My alma mater, University of Illinois. They're playing at Purdue, a big, big game, national television. And this freshman, Keaton Wagler, goes off for 46 points. I'm at the beach and my phone is going off. People from the States are hitting me. Like, man, you watching this kid? You watching Illinois? And my brother is with my dad, and they were watching the game. And he sent the text. He's like, bro, what you doing? You're not watching your boys at balling. I said, dude, I'm at the beach. And he sent me back one of the I'm like, dude. He's like, what do you mean you're at the beach? You're not watching Illinois? I said, Craig, I'm in Mexico. I'm not in the United States. I'm 6 blocks from the beach, bro. It's 89 degrees. I'm going to be sitting up here. No, I'm going to the beach. That's the beauty of technology. I came back and watched the replay. So I watched the game. I saw the historic performance from Keaton Wagler, 46 points, right? Best performance of an Illinois player in modern day history. I saw all of it on the replay. I don't have to watch it live. I get to watch the ocean live. I get to watch women half naked live. I get to go and hang out with my buddies live. I get to go and practice my Spanish live. I get to go volunteer and help kids with their basketball drills live. It's not a screen. I'm living life. And I encourage you guys, like Cool Breezes encourage you guys to live your lives, guys. The screens, the materials, all that crap, it'll be there. It ain't going nowhere. Yes, guys, because look, when you're a kid, you've got unbridled joy. And then you start to mature and life starts to get you, right? And so now you're married, you got kids, you got a mortgage, you got to go to work. And then your kids get older and they move out. You and your spouse are together, or maybe you and your spouse split. But then you're coming down on this side. And you've had the car, you've had the house, you've had the clothes, you've had the fancy dinners. But now as you start to come on this side, maybe your health isn't as good. So now you need to pay more attention to your health, because for 30 years you really haven't been doing that, right? Because guys, when you're healthy, you have a lot of problems. When you're unhealthy, you have one problem: to get your health back. So what I'm encouraging brothers 50 and over who I market to, lower your footprint, lower your need, or you think you need crap stuff. No, you want to go to another place so you can live a different life, meet new people, learn a language. That's the whole thing, guys. It's hard to learn in the United States because it's such a rat race. You're doing this. You're working, taking care of kids, taking care of parents, taking care of spouses, taking care of siblings, all that. You got to work. Got to pay these bills. I got to be at this party. I got to be at this dinner. I got to be at this meeting. You know what, guys? We used to think we need 8 hours of sleep. I don't need 8 hours of sleep anymore because my central nervous system is healed. I'm not looking over my shoulder. I'm not being looked at crazy. I don't get bad stares. When I walk into a store, the people assume I've got money to pay for what I'm looking at. They're not following me in the stores. When I get on airplanes now, I fly Copa Airlines sometimes. I don't have a racist flight attendant effing with me, kicking me off the flight. You don't experience that, guys. You experience a different life. And that's what I'm encouraging you guys to think about. Oh, man. Oh, what's up, Steph? Good to see you, brother. Steph's mom is in memory care here in the United States. It's expensive. I've checked in Mexico, and I can get an in-home memory care specialist for a third of the cost. Did you see what Steph just put there? A third of the cost for in-home care. Guess what Steph's thinking about doing, guys? Steph thinking about bringing his family down here. Because this is my brother-in-law, by the way. Steph and his beautiful wife, my sister, Carrie D, they were down here for 5 weeks. And they've been down here before, right? And so they understand the difference in cost, the quality of life here. And you know what? And I'm gonna repeat this. If you guys are happy in the States and you're living your best life, I love it for you. If you like it, I love it. But if you're like me, you're 57 years old, you're tired of the racism, you're tired of the BS, you're tired of the stuff that we have to deal with as Black people in the United States. If you're tired of it, this is for you. All right. Lion Paul 88. So Lion Paul, share with me where you live, because I'm going to I give examples about Chicago and bigger cities because that's what I've lived in. So is the crime issues misinformation by media? Here's the thing. So I lived in Chicago for 27 years and I grew to love the city. I still love the city, but it's got crime issues. But the crime issues generally are localized in certain areas. It's very similar here in Mexico. Okay. So the gory details of a cartel massacre gets big time exposure, and that weighs a lot heavier in your mind than a pickpocket or someone that's just knocking you off because they don't have anything to eat. Okay. Or the police shaking you down, because that happens sometimes here in Mexico. The police will stop you. If you got a bad police officer, they might shake you down. I haven't had it happen. I had a police officer speak to me. He said, "What's up, brother?" I turned around. I thought I was getting Ashton Kutcher. I was like, wait a minute, I'm getting played. He's like, "No, I'm talking to you. How you doing, brother?" And I'm like, shit, I'm better now. Never had a police officer say that to me in the United States. So the crime is it's not like that, Lion Paul 80. I'd encourage you to come down and see for yourself. Oh, thank you. All things pertaining. I appreciate that, man. Please consider subscribing to the channel, because I like to come on every Wednesday at 1 p.m. I come on live and I want to answer all your questions. I'll have some topics like I did today that I'll discuss, and then I'll get to your comments and we'll have a nice discussion. So thank you, All Things Pertaining. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Next chapter forward. I hope you guys enjoy this like All Things Pertaining is enjoying it. Charles, my boy, Kendall Gill, one of my brothers, he really wants to go to South Africa. I don't know what his timing is because his youngest son is still in high school. But mostly, I hear great things about South Africa. A lot of Black Americans, they call it their favorite country outside the United States. I haven't been there yet, but I definitely want to go. So check it out. Cool Breeze is answering it. South Africa is a great country and place to retire. Additionally, you can purchase land freehold. The dollar is stronger than the rand. Pro tip: Durban is it? Yes, I've heard. You know what? Cool Breeze. People talk about, what is it? Johannesburg, and what's the other one? Why is that? Oh, Cape Town, because Cape Town is one of the most spectacular, beautiful places that you're going to see on the planet. But I've heard Durban is really, really nice. There's a brother that opened a business over in Durban that's done quite well for himself. I mean, he's got a mansion over there and living well. So, yeah, South Africa is definitely one that you may want to consider. Guys, pull up on a panel. You know what? That's a good idea. I may actually do that. And what I'm doing now is I'm interviewing brothers that have successfully relocated, and I put up one of those a week because I think that it's good to see as many examples of different individuals that have had success and what their spin on it is. But that's a good idea. I'll definitely think about that. I have not seen chemtrails in Mexico yet. I haven't seen them yet. They may be here, but I haven't seen them yet. And remember now, I'm next to an ocean. So the ocean filters a lot of the air around here. So they may have them, but I haven't seen them. Yes. It's not only Palantir, it's several companies that can do the same. Is Baja, Mexico a great place to retire? I have my eyes on that location. Seems to be arid like Arizona. Yeah. La Paz, Esmeralda. Wait a minute. La Paz, Esmeralda. These are all south of Tijuana. There's another Escondido. Escondido. It's supposed to be really, really nice and very, very affordable. So look into La Paz, Esmeralda, and Escondido. Escondido. Those three. And then as you get closer to Cabo, further south, there are some locations there that are supposed to be good as well. But you're right. It's more arid. It's not quite as humid, but it's hot now. It gets hot. So if you don't mind the heat, that's good. Okay. Great question, 72 Classic. I'm going to do a trip. I'm looking at April or May. Put in the comments, guys, if I were to do a trip, a creative scouting trip for people interested in relocating to Mexico, what would be a better time frame? Would it be April or May? Put in the comments, because I'm going to make that a reality. I've been asked that a few times. A couple of the guys that I have been on calls with, the relocation calls, one guy's coming by himself, another guy's coming with his spouse. So I'm going to meet them down here. But I think it would be better to get a group of us to come down. I can introduce you to my boy Marco. He's one of the best realtors in the area. Is really, really sharp Mexican brother. Really cool dude. Him and his fiance, Estefania. They're a realty team. Perfect. So I'll put you with them. And what I'm anticipating doing, guys, is thinking about what you guys are thinking of in terms of housing stock. Are you coming solo? Are you coming with a family? Are you coming with just your spouse? What are you looking for? Do you want a 1-bedroom? Do you want a 2-bedroom? Do you want to be closer to the beach? Do you want to be in the neighborhood a little bit? Do you want to be in the central area where I am? Do you want to be on the other side of the highway so you can save money but still have a very nice place? Because a lot of Black Americans that have relocated to this area live on the other side of the highway amongst the locals and love it. They can get over here whenever they want. This sister from, what is her name, from Detroit? Beautiful sister. I cannot remember her name. Anyway, she's got a little scooter. So she'll get on her little scooter, come on over here, kick it, whatever, and take a little scooter back. You can actually walk it, guys, because Playa is not huge. It's really not big. It's a very, very walkable city. Okay. Ooh, good question. So here's the deal, guys. That's negotiable. Sometimes they want it in pesos. Sometimes they want it in US dollars. I did mine in US dollars. I should have done it in pesos because the US dollar is losing against other currencies. It's lost some to the peso since I've been here in the last 10 months. So that's a negotiable thing. It just depends on the owner and you and your comfort level with paying in pesos or American dollars. Guys, I'm getting so good. I'm finding places that you can get a bank account without a residency here if you're a foreigner. There are bank accounts here now that cater to foreigners that want the ability to pay in pesos and have a debit card and all that. I'm finding all this information out. So I'll have all this for you when you guys are trying to come through here. All right. All right. I think I got to all the questions. Man, fellas, we gone an hour and 4 minutes, and it felt like we were sitting down at a local cafe having a beer or coffee or some tea or something and chopping it up. I so appreciate all of you spending your time with me this afternoon. I know that your time is precious. I know that you guys have things you got to do, but I so appreciate your time. So thank you for taking the time out today to join me on Next Chapter Forward. Put Free Throw 15 in the comments if you want a link to a relocation roadmap call. They're free. They're 15 minutes. And I'm having a blast getting to learn these brothers and their circumstances and really helping them find the most optimal choice for them. All right. You guys take care. Roderick Miller, thank you for saying April, because that's what I'm leaning towards. You guys come, if you're listening on the replay, put in the comments what would be the better time frame, in April or May, to have a large scouting trip here to Playa del Carmen. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Until next time, holla, y'all.